Hey, what's going on, guys? This is 5Large Fries, and with the High-Res Expo coming right around the corner, I thought I would share my top 5 changes that I'd like to see in Season 4 of Smite. Now, at number 5, we have the Joust map. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I sure do miss the old Joust map. I'd like to see this make some form of return in Season 4. The old layout was fantastic. There was none of this bullshit that goes on where one team is able to snowball and win because they're able to take down an enemy tower, go straight into the jungle, take the Bull Demon King, get the buff from that, which, let's be honest, is basically a Fire Giant buff, but also disable the Phoenix, or obviously tower if the tower was still up. Basically allowing a free tower or a free Phoenix kill. So I'd like to see the old layout at the very least for Joust. I loved the fact that they had the 3 buffs on either side. It felt a little bit more fair, there was more skill to it. It's just it was a great map. For number 4, this is a bit of a tricky one, but I'd love to be able to play different roles in different positions. Now, what I mean by this is currently in Conquest, you have a Hunter and a Guardian in duo lane, you have an Assassin in the jungle, Mage in the middle, and Warrior in solo. Now, if you were to take a Warrior and, say, play him mid, this would be seen as a bit of a dick move. Now, what I'd like to see is some new items put in place which would allow this to be a thing and remove the whole "that's a dick move" sort of mentality. Now, I know this is obviously something in community and player base, but if I wanted to play, say, a warrior in mid or maybe a mage in the solo, I should have that choice. And having that variety and diversity in gods and where they can be played is absolutely fantastic, and I'd love to see that come in to Season 4. So number 3 is the jungle, specifically in Conquest. As it stands, it's too open, with next to basically little jungle buffs. What I'd like to see is the return of the attack speed buff, but I'd love to see some new buffs added in. Obviously taken from inspiration from other MOBAs like Paragon, there's a actual jungle buff in Paragon which turns you invisible until you next use an ability or a basic attack. So you are still visible to wards with this jungle buff, but it would basically then make people more likely to ward the jungle. And we all know people don't ward the jungle enough. I'd also like to see the jungle become a little bit more dark and less visible, because right now it feels too open and bright. You're able to keep eyes on people who are in the jungle. So if it changes to a more darker scenario and it's darker in there, it's going to be harder to spot people, moving through the jungle, and it makes fighting in the jungle more risky. Because right now, although it is risky, it's not as risky as I would like it to be. Now, number 2 is I'd love to see Siege get some love. I loved the idea of a 4v4 2-lane mode separated by jungle. I thought that was cool. But what I didn't like is how quickly a team is able to snowball because they're able to get a Siege Juggernaut first. What I would love to do with this map is, I think it's fine how it is, but take out the natural spawning Juggernauts, the ones that spawn after 100 minion kills. Keep the jungle Juggernaut though, because that way there's still something to fight over to gain control of, and then that sort of adds to the snowball that way. But it makes it feel like it's fair and there's more skill to it, rather than the, oh, I've killed 100 mob faster than you. Now, number 1, I'm sure this is on everyone's list. If not, I feel like it should be, but that's to revert back to the Season 2 way of buying actives and relics. Now, I appreciate what they tried to do with the current system in Season 3, and I get why they did it, but in that respect, for me, it broke the fun of the game. Now, I know a lot of people didn't buy actives and relics in Season 2, and maybe some people didn't even know they existed, but to make them free was overkill. It made certain early game gods a lot less viable, to the point they were no longer played. It made some of the more high risk, high reward gods totally unviable. I'm going to give a couple of examples here. I don't want you guys slating me for these examples, but gods like Thanatos and Hebo, they got hit pretty hard in Season 3 because of this. By allowing people a free Sanctuary/Aegis, it meant they were no longer able to perform early game like they used to, because they were able to do so well in Season 2 with their ultimates, whereas now they get a free relic and they're like, Oh look, Thanatos has gone up. It's a good thing I've got this free item to completely counter him the entire game. So it's a shame. I'd love to see the Season 2 version of these actives come back, because it should be a choice. It should be a choice of, do I get an active and counter a god, or do I risk it, get an item to become more powerful, and then maybe get an active to counter that god? That's how I felt like it should be. That's pretty much it for this video. I will try and cover any news that comes out of Hi-Rez Expo regarding Season 4 of Smite and Season 1 of Paladins, and of course Smite Tactics as well. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe if you are new, and I shall see you in the next video.